Well, this is a policewoman that's going to help us, and I want her to start out with some of this, what makes the holiday season a fraudster's playground, Miss Linda. And Linda, please tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, I started out as safety patrol when I was in 3rd grade.
Oh.
And I know a lot of people don't know about safety patrol.
Oh,
but I started out in 3rd grade, you know,
helped. Born in Arkansas.
I was born in Arkansas, right? My grandparents, who were soybean farmers, and in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And I would go work the farm every summer. So proud of that. I love the South, and I love the people in the South.
Oh, yes, I love the work.
And I can't stand when people defraud or take advantage of such kind and wonderful people in the South. And so anyway, so I started out in 3rd grade helping children cross the street safely. I felt that it was my way. When I went to college, I started SAFE team inside college, which helped. Yes, and when college, I helped people go from their classroom to their car so that they would be safe. Women who might be scared at night, late night when they're getting out, at 10 o'clock at night. So I helped form a team, and that actually rolled out across America. So I'm really excited about that program.
That is. You were that founder.
Well, I was one of the founders, yes. Okay. And then after that, went into law enforcement. And as you can imagine, women in law enforcement in the 1980s, it was certainly groundbreaking. Yes, I was one of the first women on a dive rescue team in the United States.
Really?
Yes, jumping out of helicopters. And unfortunately for me, though, it was either rescue or recovery mode. And unfortunately, sometimes you don't get to the people long enough. So,
my daughter was on small boat rescue for the Coast Guard.
Wow.
So
such an honorable field.
So, yes, and so many stories that I'm sure you could tell.
Oh, plenty, but I left law enforcement for a greater passion, and that passion was I left as a white-collar crime detective, and I felt like it was time that I needed to fight fraud. So I went into corporate America, fighting some of the largest fraud rings in America. $300 million frauds. Frauds that involve terrorists here in America. Things like that. Yeah, I hate to say it. We were under terrorist attack right before 9/11.
And you knew that?
Oh, yes, I did.
But they didn't believe you?
Well, unfortunately, it's part of education. Educating how the fraud works. Some of the fraud schemes are very, very complex. But it's not that we can't crack them now. We're onto them now. And I say that, fraudster, we're coming for you, because we are. All right? And I felt like it was time to take a bigger stance on that. Everybody has their legacy. My legacy is to fight fraud around the world. Do you know that 1 out of 3 Americans will be victimized by fraud this year? 1 out of 3.
That is so unbelievable. And I believe it because I had identity theft from an employee that worked for me for 3 years and I didn't get it.
But see what you did, which I'm so
understand.
But you know what I'm so proud of that you did? What? Do you know that 8 out of 10 people that are actually defrauded will not report the fraud?
Oh,
8 out of 10.
$20,000, $10,000 deals. I reported it. Well, I was continuing to try to find what was going on. I couldn't figure it out. So I had people. I was a community watch person and gone through the training that the police gave us. I got a pistol license, but he wouldn't let me have a pistol. He said I couldn't shoot anybody. But anyway, but I wish I'd have met you 10 years ago. This happened about 7 years ago. 3 years we worked on that.
But you know what? I'm so proud of you because you stuck with it.
You
reported it. You went after the person.
I did.
Think about it. 8 out of 10 people don't report fraud.
Why, Linda?
And the reason being is because they're ashamed. They're ashamed that they were even defrauded to begin with. And I'm going to say this because this is something that's important that we get out to America. That it's no longer taboo. You can report it. Do you realize that over 65, 9 out of 10 people, if you're over 65, won't report the fraud? 9 out of 10.
I don't get it,
because
Linda.
they're ashamed that they were defrauded to begin
That's
with.
true.
And I want people to know, listen, everybody gets defrauded. It's not a shameful thing. Stand up. It's no longer taboo. I want you to report it. That's what's so important here. Is that the only way to stop the fraudster is that you have to report it. Okay? And I want everybody to know, don't be shamed because you were defrauded. It happens to all of us. It's even happened to me.
Oh, you serious?
Absolutely.
How did it happen?
It happened through identity theft, similar to you. Somebody's
Oh,
so
right.
gullible and I fell for it. But it happens. It happens all the time.
She was ready to go to jail that day, and she paid off everything, and we didn't make her go
And I
to
think
jail.
that's wonderful that you were able to get full restitution. So now I think that's important. I want to say that to everybody out there. Because you pursued it, okay?
Yes.
You made the person be accountable and you made them
Well, I
pay.
had the
And that's
television
awesome.
show, and it was, I just thought, I can't have this. It was saying that we had bad credit and I had to pay 9% interest, and everybody else paying 3 and 4% interest. But we got that all turned around because, fortunately, the person that owned the mortgage company knew me because I used to write for her newspaper, a column for years, and she just couldn't believe it. So she also was like you, Linda.
Right.
She said, you cannot let this die.
Right. And persistent paid off there. So that's what I want to get back to everybody, is if you've been defrauded, it is important that you report it. And if you're not sure, you can we'll go back. I think what's important is that if you've been scammed, you can even tell me about it. All right? Now, and you can go to thefrauddog.com, and in it you can just tell me about your scam, and I'll see what I can do.
Frauddog.com.
That is thefrauddog.com.
FRAUD. 2 D's?
Yeah, yes, 2 D's.
DOG.com.
Correct.
Please.
Right.
Thaddeus, get this on, running across the bottom of the screen. FRAUDDOG.com.
Correct. And the reason being is we want to tell people about scams. The only way to stop the fraudster is if we can educate people. So let's talk.
And that's going to be done through the Win online and the...
Yes, and I feel very blessed with that. I've connected with Paula Fellingham. We've started what is called the Windshield. And I'm excited about that because when you think about a windshield, shield is to protect. And we want to protect, okay, people about fraud scams. So when I hear about a fraud scam that's happening, I immediately go to the Windshield and I tell everybody, hey, this is the latest scam that's happening. And I alert. I'll give you a one that
If you get that to me, I'll get it on every time it happens.
Well, I just did one last week, and it's called pet flipping. Think about that. Pet flipping. Somebody coming onto your property, stealing your pet, and then going over to another state and putting it on Craigslist and selling it.
Oh my
To
goodness.
lose your dear pet. Think about
Oh,
that.
that's so... My nephew has a pet lab that he makes vitamins for pets to keep them from getting cancer, or if they've gotten cancer.
Right.
So to have someone's... I almost think he'd trade in a daughter or son rather than his pet. I mean, and that's not actually true, but the pets
Are just like some children in families.
Oh, yes.
They're so much a part of the family unit.
They are.
And to lose somebody's dear pet just because of, coming onto your property and stealing your pet, think about that. And it happened during last year during the Oklahoma tornadoes.
Oh.
When all the tornadoes came through Oklahoma,
Yes.
the fraudster went into Oklahoma and all these pets were wandering around, went and stole them. And so that sometimes that was the last possession people had. They lost their houses. The only thing they had left was their pet. And yet the fraudster didn't care. The fraudster came in and took the last possession that they had.
What in the world, Linda, causes people to not care about becoming a fraudster? What about the holiday season?
Well, the thing that's what's so important about the holiday season, and I love talking about the holiday season because fraudsters target people during the holiday season. People are distracted during the holiday season. Think about it. You're going to the stores. You've got all the things you want to go buy. You have a lot of obligations of family, so you're distracted. And the fraudster knows that you're distracted. The fraudster needs two things in order to commit fraud. They need a sense of urgency and a need. Those are the two things that make a fraudster thrive. So during the holiday, people are running around. That sense of urgency. And then the other thing is that they have a need to shop, a need to go to the stores. So the fraudsters go where the people are. And I brought a few props today.
And I want to know what the top
Okay, so I'm going to teach you about some simple holiday frauds that occur. Okay, because I think it's important. Let's talk about your credit card. You go out and you use your credit card when you're shopping, okay? And although this isn't, I'm using this as a prop, a credit card skimmer is this size. It's not even any larger than this. And you can buy it for $19 online. You can buy a credit card skimmer for $19. And all they do is when you go to the front clerk and you give them your credit card. Now, what are you usually doing? You're usually distracted. You're thinking, you're looking at your holiday list. You're not looking. They just simply go off to the side, not even close to the register, and they just fling it right through. Just fling it that fast. And that fast, they now have your credit card. Now, I'm not saying that every holiday clerk or store clerk. I'm just saying there are one few that are out there that could be fraudsters. So watch your card. Never lose sight of your card when you're shopping, okay? So that's very important. Now, I want you to hold your card out in front of you like that, okay? Now, I'm going to actually stand up, right, and I'm going to come back around, or I'm going to get on camera. Now then, I want you to know, look at me as a fraudster. I'm now over your shoulder taking a picture of your credit card. Can you believe it? They've just taken a picture of your credit card.
Oh.
And that's as easy to do, too.
I had no idea that they could take a picture of it.
Yes.
Because usually they'll say, we want to see your credit card, we want a picture ID or whatever many times. But they can take a picture of the credit card and don't have to have their credit card.
They're just off and running with it, yes.
Whoa.
And then they're going to find a way to get a hold of the back 3 numbers also, the CVV card. Now I'm going to teach you another thing, and another thing's called gift card palming. And I'm going to teach you about that too. Let's say you're going through a major shopping center and you have a basket full of goodies and you're at the checkout line.
Yes.
Okay? And what happens is, do you ever find yourself distracted? You're maybe in your purse looking or something while they're checking out. Of course you are. What happens is, again, another crooked store clerk, I'm not saying them all, but there's a few out there. What they'll do is they'll put the credit card in their hand. You're distracted, you're not thinking of anything. And what happens, now I'm just taking a roll of toilet tissue here, but it could be paper towels, it could be whatever. And what they do is they put it like this, and basically run this through the scanner, a shopping scanner, and then what happens is they drop the item, all right, which is, they're dropping this item because they just scanned it. You're not looking because you got your face in your purse, or maybe you've dropped something on the ground. They just run it back through, and they drop the card. You never see the card. And now they put $5 on your receipt. Do you check your receipt when you leave the store? You just jam it in your purse, don't you?
Yes.
Of course you do. You should be looking at that receipt when you leave. Because they might have put a $5 gift card. I want you to know, it personally happened to me.
That happened and you're aware.
I know. I did something about it. When I got home, I pulled my receipt out and I went, there's $10 extra on this. And I looked and it was a gift card. I went right back to the store and I reported it to the store manager or their loss prevention department. It is important that you report it.
Does about every store have a loss prevention department?
Yes, they have a loss prevention department or a store manager. It is important that you check your receipt.
Never have I done it. Never.
And that's exactly why they'll target people that have maybe big, large purses. Because they know women, they just love to throw those receipts in their purses and you never look at them. The other thing, they love to target mothers with children. Because what happens when you have the child in the cart? So typically the child will throw something on the ground or be distracted. They look for that because they know that a mother's focus is always on her child. And so gift card palming is big during the holiday season. So make sure you check your receipts.
Gift card palming. Never knew that could happen.
Now I'm going to tell you another one. It's called the merchandise return scam. What happens there is sometimes when you leave a store, you'll take the receipt and you'll throw it in the trash. The fraudster loves people who throw the receipts in the trash at the exit point because they go in, they grab the receipt, they'll go into the store and get the same item, they'll sneak it back around to the front, and then they'll actually never pay for it, and then they'll ask for a return for that merchandise. It's
Oh,
called, and
my
that is a
goodness.
$1 billion
With a
fraud.
B.
$1 billion
With a B.
fraud. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Mhm.
What are the top holiday shopping frauds to watch out of?
And I'm
This year.
Now I'm going to tell you about the bump and run.
Okay.
The bump and run. Now that's really important. What happens is you're looking down, okay, and this talks about your friend who lost her cell phone.
Yes.
Oh, they are sitting in shopping malls, the fraudster, waiting for people just like her who might be texting.
Yeah.
So I want you to pretend you're doing that.
Okay.
What the fraudster does is bumps you really hard so that you drop your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Then they grab it and take off and run.
Oh, that's what happened
It's called
to
the
her.
bump and run.
That is what happened to her.
Yes.
Here in Los Angeles, and her daughter has a business here, and so she went on home, and then she came to Gunnersville, Alabama, and then she came back here, and she went to that same store to see if it had been turned in. It hadn't been turned.
That's right.
Oh my goodness! Now she will be watching this.
Yes.
It is earlier this year for people to be defrauded, isn't it?
Listen, there's more and more fraudsters because they know they can get away with it. So we've got to fight it because yes, fraud is becoming rampant, and most importantly, we've got to report it. But what's most important for people for holiday fraud? You have to be vigilant when you're out shopping. Be alert. Okay? Don't allow the bump and run fraudster. Don't be aware. Sit down, have a seat, and do your texting. Okay? So that you're on solid ground. Don't sit and walk around with 5 packages hanging over you, a big old purse, and you're trying to text. It makes you, when they bump and run you, they're going to take you off your feet. That's what they're trying to do. So be vigilant.
My goodness,
Yes.
that's exactly what happened to her. You met her last night, in
Right.
fact. And that is really sad. It was such a sad thing for her. Because she didn't have a lot of cash. She just said, I have like $30. Because she was concerned about using her credit card, and she had something on her phone that's like a credit card. Have you ever heard of
yes,
those?
I have, absolutely. And I think what's important that when you lose your phone, let's talk about that. You
Okay.
need to get, if you have an iPad, or you need to get what is called Find My Phone app. It's called
Okay.
Find My Phone. Okay?
But it's bump and run or
Or
whatever.
they've taken your phone, but if you have an iPad, or you can put the
Yeah.
app on your computer, you
Yes.
can find out where your phone is, but you can also lock it down and wipe it. So that
Really?
and you can immediately report it to your cell phone company. So now you can't have to worry about them getting all of your information off the phone.
Oh my goodness.
It's called Find Your Phone.
Find
It's
Your
probably one of
Phone.
the best apps that you can get.
Oh my. I know you think I'm the most dumbest thing in the
Oh,
universe.
no.
I got a doctor, but they didn't teach us this. I'm
Oh.
telling you. You could be the top person in the US of A or the governor or whatever. This could happen.
Listen, fraud attacks everybody, and I think it's important.
And
this-
there are different types of fraud.
And I want to tell you one that's really near and dear to my heart. Ones that I want to teach parents about who have children. Are you aware of the fact that 99% of all children who have phones,
They all have it.
and they all have it,
In
don't
the
they?
United States, they did.
They will answer a stranger's text. Let me give you an example.
They will.
They will. A little girl, do you like a pink dress? From a complete stranger. What do you think she's going to do? She's
Say
gonna-
yes.
Of course.
I like a
I
pink-
love a pink dress.
Yeah.
Now what's happened is she's just told the fraudster where she's at. She's just told the fraudster where her location is.
Oh,
and
no.
meanwhile, because she answered the stranger's text, okay, there's a little fine print in the text that says your phone bill will be charged $1 for responding. So now $1 has just gone on the parent's phone bill. A $1.2 billion fraud.
$1.2 billion.
And let me ask you,
fraud.
do you have time if you have a $1 charge on your phone? Are you going to fight that? That's what parents are so busy these days. So when they see an extra $1 on their phone bill, they don't have time to fight that. So it's important that we educate our children. Do not answer stranger's text. And
No
how
matter
important
what
it
it
is.
sounds like.
That's
A
right.
relative or cousin, your cousin Jane, whatever. You still, I don't know if I have a cousin named Jane.
Right.
So,
And it's what's most important too. If you go to thefrawddog.com, I'm most passionate about, I have an animated dog called Buster.
Oh,
and
yes.
Buster's fight is anti-bullying. If you have children who have been bullied, go to thefrawddog.com and show them our anti-bullying animation and pass it on to other people. Because part of fighting fraud is also stopping the bully in schools.
that is such a humongous challenge and that's happening right now. We did a whole TV show about that, about just bullying, and it's just exploding exponentially that people are being bullied. And how can the fraud dog help anti-bullying? Help?
Well, I love that you asked me that. I have a new program coming out called BusterCares.com. And BusterCares.com is dedicated to teaching our younger children some of the basic things about integrity, honesty, reaching out and working together as a team, anti-bullying, all those important messages.
Character
Character
that we
messages.
learned a couple of, century ago, raised on a farm, and for me in
That's right.
Arkansas. with
There you
cotton, raising cotton. The prisoner of war was working on my dad's cotton farm. But we don't have that. So many people are in town or without two parents, or maybe not even their own parents. And so they are bullied. Maybe they are shorter, like I was,
Or chunky like I was.
Okay.
I mean, short, chunky, it doesn't
And I
matter.
had a car accident and made my nose crooked, so I got, made fun of about a crooked nose. But the doctor wanted to break it again, and no. But I was bullied because it was short and red hair and freckles, big splashy freckles, So.
But you didn't let that stop you, did you?
No.
And look at you now. That's right.
Well, that's because I thought there's got to be something better than this.
That's right.
In bullying. How do you know about bullying?
Oh,
I mean, as
well,
a police
I mean,
person-
certainly as growing up as a child, I was chunky. Nobody would pick me. And it's a good thing I didn't listen to them, because I'd still be sitting on the bench watching life go by.
Yeah,
Instead,
that's exactly right.
That's
We got
right.
to watch that and not have the fraud dog to take over our life.
well, and here's what's so important about this. Everybody can stop fraud. Everybody can. I'll give you a fine example. If you come to somebody to your house and wants to do some contractor work, okay?
Yeah, it happens all the time.
If they're on the up and up, take a picture of them. Be proactive. If you get into a
I
car,
never thought of
that's
that.
right. If you get into a car accident, take a picture of the people in the car that hit you. And the reason being, your cell phone could be your greatest fraud tool. Because see, a person who's not committing fraud, they won't have a problem with their picture being taken.
That's right.
But the fraudster doesn't want to be identified. And that's how you can stop them, by just taking a simple picture and sending it on to your insurance company when you get into an accident. A contractor who comes to your door, if he's a true contractor, he won't have a problem. Can I just get a picture of you? He won't have a problem with it. You see, that's what's so important. Use proactive tools that you have
I
right here
never
in your
thought
house.
of that. I do remember I had real estate down in Brownsville, Texas, and a person hit me. We were going real slow to the red light, and they hit me from behind.
Right.
From behind,
Right.
and so the accident went through. Called the insurance person, and they checked it out, got their license. They were from Mexico, but doesn't matter about that. But he said, "This is the 5th accident they've had. Which one are you referring to?"
There you go.
There was
So-
a type of fraud.
Right, it's called a swoop and squat. That's called a swoop and squat. Where are they?
didn't know
Yeah,
there was
there's
such a
so
thing.
there's so many wonderful nicknames to all these scams. I could be here endlessly. But I think what's important is understand that you too can fight the fraudster. But most importantly is like what you said, you need to report it. Make sure that if you are defrauded, make sure you stand up and report it. So important message.
And just don't worry about being embarrassed about
Absolutely.
it. People will applaud you, actually.
Absolutely.
Of course, this is the first time somebody's applauded me
I too.
for reporting it, but I couldn't let it go because it was my reputation.
And I'm so glad you did.
I felt bad about that.
You know, and I want to say this because I think it's so important. We just recently had the Boston bombings. Do you know it was America that helped save those crimes? It was America who helped find those terrorists. America can help stop fraud. They can help because they have this. They have their cell phone. They can take pictures. They can get involved. That's why it's so important. America, everybody can make a difference in this world to help stop the fraudsters. Getting involved and taking a stand.
And what about stealing Christmas yard art?
Oh my gosh. Then can you believe that? And they do that. Gangs do it just for, out of toys. Some people do it just because they want to say they can, but they just take it. But here's somebody who's put out something precious for the holidays, and somebody just came along and just took away became the Grinch of their holiday joy. So,
are these just accidental people, or are there some people that make a living?
Listen, there's all kinds of people. There's opportunistic people who see an opportunity, they just take it. There's habitual criminals who that's all they do. It's their lifelong, whatever, like my lifelong is to fight fraud. There's other people where all they do is they're just habitual criminals, But then there's other people. And it's important that we understand who the fraudster is. Some people may just have something bad that happened to them in their life, that they're forced to steal because maybe they're going to lose their house. Maybe one of their children got cancer, and they never thought about committing fraud before, but they did now because they're backed into a corner. So understanding the fraudster is part of one of the things I do when I'm fighting fraud, is understanding who the fraudster is.
Linda, there is no way that I can thank you enough for giving us so many wonderful ideas about how people have been defrauded and can be defrauded, and how we can fight it by reporting it and being aware of what's around us.
Absolutely.
So, sum it up in a minute about how you would say that the top things we should do.
Well, the top things you should do is be vigilant. Understand your surroundings at all times. If you want to text somebody, sit down in the mall. Get secure on your feet and then do that. Be sure of that. Be aware and follow your credit card wherever it goes. Follow it. I say eyes on your credit card at all times. Okay? Be aware of people maybe taking pictures of you behind you when you're giving somebody your credit card. Things of that nature. And most importantly, don't be afraid to report it. Right, Mom?
That is so true.
We're so excited that
you want
did.
a copy of this DVD, hey, just let us know. Any amount. Or we'll probably send it to you for free. But we want it. This is, Linda is part, and the fraud dog is part of the WIN, which is the Women Information Network, and this is part of the information network that Dr. Paula Bellingham helped. Well, she founded it and started it, and we want you to be a part of it too, to be vigilant.
And look for your latest scams. You can go to the WIN online, okay, under the WIN. They win online, and you can look for the WIN Shield. The WIN Shield is committed to stopping fraud and educating people all over the world about the latest fraud scams. And that's one of our commitments. What we want to do is help people around the world, is to help that and educate people about the latest fraud scams.
Yes. I'm Bonnie Libhart along with Linda, and we're so happy you joined us today.